For the past few days, one question has been on the minds and mouths of almost every tech creator around the world. And the question is, have Samsung been faking their moonshots? Why did this question even come out in the first place? Well, it may be because Samsung told us that their zoom cameras are so good up to the point that you can take pictures of the moon. And they use that as a major selling point when launching the S23. And some other phone companies like Tecno and Huawei also added these features to their phones. But it was later discovered that those moon pictures taken with those phones were fake. If you take a moon picture, the phone will just generate a similar moon picture already taken, not the one taken from your phone, to just generate it and paste it on top of that, make you feel like you took a picture of the moon, whereas you didn't. So there the question arose, is Samsung doing the exact same thing, or are they really taking pictures of the moon? But before saying anything, let us be real. Moon pictures, is that really necessary? So let's go into it. Well, unfortunately, I don't have my hands on any Samsung phone at all to experiment this and know if it's real or not. So we're going to be taking clips from the most trustworthy tech YouTube creator right now. Yes, Mr. Who's the Boss. And we're going to be analyzing based on his findings so that we can really know if those moon pictures that you see are real or they are fake. So if you want to watch that video will be right up here right now. So you can go ahead and click it and go watch the video, the full video, of course. Clip number 1.
I decided to try and capture 4 photos, each one pushing the boat out a little bit further. Number 1 was a genuine real-life shot of the moon at night, which went about as expected. I ended up with this rather impressive-looking image, but nothing unusual happening yet.
He took a picture of the moon, the real moon, which came out with the usual, normal, expected result. This, right? That's not where things get interesting. Let's continue. Clip number 2.
I wanted to see how easy it would be to fool the phone by using a photo of the moon on a screen instead of the real-life moon. So I pulled up the same photo that I'd taken from my Samsung onto my MacBook, placed it onto a dark sky scene and tried to capture it. And I noticed the phone is not super easy to fool. It knows you're never going to be sitting right next to the moon, so if you just sit in front of your screen and use your 1x main camera, it's just gonna look like a photo on a screen.
He decided to try and fool the phone by taking a picture of the moon, yes, and putting it on the screen of his PC. So he took the phone up close and took the picture. But what went on there is that the AI that is on the phone, clearly knows that there is no way you'll be that close to the moon. So somehow it detects that that is not real moon. The picture not come out as expected. So he had to go back into a good distance and had to use the zoom camera. So only then was he able to fool AI to thinking that that was a picture of the moon. So the picture came out as expected. Yes, a clean, crispy image of the moon. So in this next clip,
I took my original photo, downscaled it from a 2000 by 2000 image into a 200 by 200 image to remove almost all detail, added a blur such that there was now no visible moon texture at all, and repeated the steps from the last photo. And this was properly surprising.
He took the picture and downscaled it from a 2000 by 2000 pic to 200 by 200, therefore taking out almost every single detail from the picture, so it's just a blurry spherical image. After taking the picture, somehow the phone was still able to detect that this was a picture of the moon and added detail from absolutely nowhere, and that's scary. So he went a step further by printing out that image, the blurred image, and cutting out the shape of the moon and putting it under light. He took the picture and somehow it came out as a picture of the real moon with every single detail. There was absolutely no detail.
Just to try and 100% confirm that this was happening, I even printed out a blurry version of the moon, hanging it from a light by a string, and sure enough, the phone detected the paper as a moon and added detail that didn't even exist.
So one way or the other, Samsung is actually faking those moonshots, right? So he decided to be a little bit sneaky, and then he went ahead to add a little detail of his own, trying to see if the phone was still going to detect it as the moon and ignore his own added detail and give him out a picture of the moon without the detail, or it will still give him a picture of the moon with that dent that he has made to that image. Results came out and it turns out the phone recognized it as a picture of the moon and somehow still added his own detail.
Realized that if I took the blurred out moonshot that Samsung does recognize, scrubbed out a little piece of detail here and replaced it with a detail of my own, I'd be able to conclusively see if Samsung would just ignore my tweaks, if they would just overwrite my image with the same normal, correct stock moon image as before. Because the tweaks I'd made were minor, the phone still recognized the object as the moon and added in detail. But instead of completely replacing the image, it did indeed keep the tweaks I'd made.
So, it's not fake, right? It's confusing.
So, what's happening here is Samsung has trained their AI to fully understand the real texture and details of the moon, using hundreds of thousands of real images to teach it the patterns to look out for. Because of that, this AI can recognize when a moon is present in future shots, and so long as there are enough identifiers for the phone to be able to confirm it, will use what it's learned about what the moon should look like to analyze each moon photo from scratch, recognizing the bits it recognizes and adding those in, and then improvising how to enhance the rest.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Wait. So what he's actually saying is that those images are real and they are also fake. Let me explain. Almost every single picture that you take from your phone's camera, yes, I'm talking of the iPhones, the Samsung, and also the Google Pixels, yeah, all those phones. What you see with your eye is not what your phone usually gives you. Software on your phone processes that image and gives you something looking clean and sharp and smooth, even if the real image is not clean, sharp, or even smooth. So what your phone is giving you is the image, but not the real image. You understand what I mean? So what you're seeing is not the real image of the moon, but it is from what you have taken. AI on your phone is going to detect that this person is trying to take a photo of the moon, and it's going to modify it and add detail from already taken pictures of the moon. Not the picture itself, but it's going to add details from the picture and give you a lookalike of that image. AI is going to edit that image and make it look more like the moon, and it already looks like. So it means you are taking a picture of the moon, but it is not the picture of that moon. God, that is so confusing. But why are we all worked up about the image of the moon, the image of the moon? It's not even that important to be. Anyways, thanks for watching, and if you want to see a video on why iPhones are usually preferred over other sets of phones, that video is right here, so you might want to go ahead and watch that. Peace.